Going on, everybody? Dr. Kashey is back in our next installment of our processed food series, episode 2.5, where processed foods are never fresh. They're not fresh. This is some preparing. If you didn't know me, this is actually me pulling up my pant legs because I'm excited and getting ready to rumble. That's actually okay. Only you, Dr. K veterans, understand that behavior. In any case, last video we spoke about what the heck fresh meant, kind of. And I threw baby carrots under the bus, okay? Because, Americans know, like, and trust carrots. And Americans also love baby creatures, so that's pretty much a match made in heaven, in my opinion. And for that reason, people don't really question where they come from. Perception is what makes it okay to buy these heavily processed plastic bagged baby carrots made by a megacorp, but perception is also the reason why people are terrified of buying foods in a plastic bag if it has more than one ingredient, which we now know are called formulated foods, right? And so I genuinely hope this does spark a discussion with processed food and junk food. And when that happens, where it's like fresh, they come along for the ride. And I think that's very important because, like we discussed in the last video, what the heck does fresh really mean anyway? It's really stressful to me. And equally important, when is a fresh food not fresh anymore, right? And if a food is no longer fresh, does that mean it's been spoiled, processed, or made fresh again? Right? Because now that food is an ingredient in another food, right? Now that food is fresh made. And I think we can agree generally that when you bake a peach, it's no longer fresh. Here's where things become spicy. I think most people will also agree the peach cobbler it has become is fresh and not processed. That's where things get interesting. Rapidly spoiling beef is frozen or cooked into fresh steak. Grapes can be fresh and then pulverized and strained, making fresh juice. Fresh raw milk has the cream skimmed, pasteurized, and homogenized into fresh butter. Old wilted spinach cooks into fresh omelets. Heavily processed flour becomes fresh bread. A fresh potato is thinly sliced and lightly baked into fresh homemade chips. Coffee beans, insanely processed by the way, are brewed into fresh coffee all over the world. I could go on forever, but I think I'm getting my point across here. Fresh foods convert into unfresh foods at megacorps, minicorps, restaurants, and at home. And fresh foods do lose their nutrients, flavor, and texture if they have been processed or haven't been processed. No one ever considers that, right? The bottom line is that during any food transformation, no matter what happens, the taste, texture, nutrients, and food quality and safety profile does change. It does change every time there's a transformation. And here's where things get spicy again. The color, texture, flavor of a fresh food, it degrades eons slower than its nutritional value. In other words, vitamins and antioxidants, they get the axe way before we can tell visually, by texture or by flavor. That means fruits and vegetables appear fresh by color, texture, and flavor, but they might be depleted. Does that mean they're not fresh anymore? And if so, how would you tell? Does it matter? Even more concerning, fresh fruits and vegetables, they take the brunt of this punishment. Even when they're refrigerated, there's only a modest reduction in the destruction of those nutrients. Why isn't this as big of a deal for meat? Something that's interesting. And that's really because meat is way more likely to grow cooties and kill you. And people frown on that. All right? For that reason, it's processed within hours to preserve its safety profile, which simultaneously preserves its nutrients and flavor. So plant material can go weeks or longer without attention and still be safe to eat, but that doesn't mean the nutrients and other positive qualities of that food are still there. Unless you're pulling the vegetable out of the ground or the fruit right off the tree, then you're rolling the dice no matter what. And hopefully that communicates how much it really matters. How much that really matters. Now I can take a food into the lab and assay the chemical composition. Wait, see, I got tools. Yeah, I got tools right here in my office. I got these tools and I can do tests and stuff, right? What does that accomplish, right? Other than me looking ridiculous with a hairnet on my face, right? And the most common food processing method, heating to cook, it does change the texture, flavor, and destroy vitamins. Absolutely does. But you know what? Once you process a food, the texture, flavor, color, and vitamins are also more or less stabilized. Okay, so there's a front-end investment for a long-term gain. And by definition, that makes heat and cooking a preservative. Ooh. So yeah, does cooking destroy vitamins and nutrients? Absolutely. But you know what also destroys vitamins and nutrients? Not cooking, not doing food processing methods. I find that super interesting that that's never brought up. And so the next question becomes, okay, let's say we do have a working definition for fresh that everyone agrees on. At what point does fresh food turn to unfresh food or processed food? Where do you draw that line? Is there one? I think that's super interesting. So tell me what you think about this in the comments. Let me know if you think I'm headed in the right direction. I got all sorts of other things coming down the pipe. Keeping comms, guys. This is awesome. Go have fun.